Yeah.
What is that? You smell that?
A little bit of weekend mixed in with a little smoke maybe. But
Yeah.
A little less smoke this morning.
A little less smoke. That beautiful smell is the weekend.
Yeah, I can actually see clouds.
Yeah, we've had a little change in the weather.
Yeah.
Lots going on today. Happy Friday, everybody. It's the last day of the work week. Weekend's almost upon us. Dan Coons, your host. Steve Hare, our news director to my immediate left. Cat in control. Friday, 17th day of August 2018, and this is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. You started your week with us, we hope, last Monday, and now you're wrapping up your work week with us again here, live here from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee. As Steve briefly mentioned, and we'll talk about that, we do have some change in the weather. Some things have been mixed up a little bit. The air quality is considerably better than it has been for the last 4 or 5 days. We'll give you the latest readings. For now, it's going to change again. But it looks like the timing right now looks like we're not going to have such a bad weekend. It doesn't look that way a couple days ago. Knock on incredibly expensive wood. All that good stuff, all that important stuff you need to know. The latest air quality, what's going on with the fires, what's going on with the weather forecast, what's going on this weekend. Everything that you need to know to get your weekend going is coming your way here in just a couple of minutes. My guests in the second half of the show, they came by yesterday morning. The good news folks from the Wenatchee School District, Diana Haglund and Chris Lutkin, came by to pay me a visit. We talked about this earlier in the week. Big, huge free lunch program for a lot of schools.
That is really neat.
It's a really neat program. A lot of parents, about 3,200 kids in the Wenatchee School District will get free lunch, no questions asked. You get in line, you get your tray, you get your lunch, you don't pay for it, done deal. It's a great deal.
That really helps with the education, too.
It does, it does.
For me, though, lunch, I'm kind of lost after lunch, you know.
Yeah.
You go to an afternoon meeting and you're like...
you get all logy.
Yeah.
I once worked for a boss, I'm not going to tell you who he was, but he liked to schedule meetings at 3:30, 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, which is just stupid. Because nobody wants to do a meeting at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. But he would do that. He did it on purpose. He wasn't my most popular boss.
I can see. I can see why.
But he has exited his earthly vessel. How's it going down there anyway? All right, let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. Courtesy, that was a bit of a slam. Well, there you go. You can actually see the Wenatchee Valley.
I can see part of Canada too.
Yeah, your eyesight's a heck of a lot better than mine.
Well, what I mean is the residue that's coming down from Canada. Yes. I was wondering, are they current on their carbon tax? That's what I want.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, what you're seeing here and what's going on is everything's coming from the south. I just took a look at the latest radar, and there's a low-pressure ridge that spins counterclockwise, and so that's one of the reasons it's so warm. It's 72 degrees under partly cloudy skies outside of our studios. This is a time-lapse, Steve. Tell people what we're looking at.
This is what we were looking at this morning when we came into work, and again, you can see the clouds above. Those were packing some punch this morning, too. A little pyrotechnics along with the clouds and the wind, and even got a little bit of light rain.
And what's the time lapse on this? I mean, what's the time when this was done? 5 to 6. So just about an hour ago.
Nice job, Kat.
Good stuff. Now, we still have some things we need to deal with. We still have the air quality alert. That's still going to go until 10 o'clock this morning. And then we have a red flag warning from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock tonight. The winds are going to be picking up, especially between 5 and 11 today. All those important details that you need to know coming up in just a little bit. So that is a live shot right now, Kat, that we're looking at. A live shot that looks to be the lower cross cam. Is that correct? Oh, gotcha. So it's the normal cross cam. It's just looking a little bit more beautiful East Wenatchee.
Oh, I can actually see Birch Mountain.
We haven't been able to do that for quite some time. Let's see how the smoky, cloudy skies are elsewhere. Perhaps that's Rondo Rock. Again, much improved than what we've seen earlier.
Fire out there in that direction this morning. Of
course, that's considerably closer to the Cuckoo Creek fire than the Wenatchee Valley, but not a lot. Let's see what Kat has for camera 3. I'm looking forward to this. That's the Appalachians camera, looking over beautiful Kashmir, Washington, and you can actually see the foothills of the Cascades. Again, not doable over the last couple of days. Looks like traffic is flowing well, Steve, this morning.
Well, I took a step outside this morning, took a deep breath, and I didn't smell smoke.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Camera 4. It's kind of like this show. It's not great, but it's not bad. There's an idea of what you're looking up in Chelan. So it's still smokier in Chelan right now. And Chelan does have unhealthy air, by the way. We'll get to that in just a little bit. That's the Bear Mountain camera, I believe, looking right up the lake. And I'm still very curious about, in this, the height of the vacation season, how this smoky week affected the local businesses up in the Chelan area, the people who rent vacation cabins, the Airbnbs, the regular hotel rooms, the boaters, the jet skiers. It can't not have been a good week for them. My guess is they had some people saying, we're not coming.
I would imagine that there's some concern because this is becoming pretty much an annual
Seems
event.
like every, yeah. Seems
Maybe
like
they can
every
turn
year.
a festival into it or something, The smoke festival.
Yeah, just celebrate it, right? There you go. The American Lung Association presents the second annual
There you
Chelan
go.
Smoke Festival. Let's take a look at the state map for our air quality. This is from the Department of Ecology. We've been showing you this all week long. Considerably better. Both Wenatchee and Chelan are in a healthy, but yesterday at this time it was worse than that. Of course, the Puget Sound area has now been completely scoured out with this marine push that came in. So let's take a look actually at Wenatchee's reading. This is the latest, and it's at 159 as you see. It is still unhealthy, but it was twice that yesterday at this time. So unhealthy, 159. If they can dip below that 150 mark and go from unhealthy to unhealthy for sensitive groups, that means most of the outdoor activities will probably be a go for this weekend.
If you lived in Seattle, they'd be complaining about this, right?
Yeah.
We're actually relieved that we're in
Yeah.
unhealthy range.
Now, that's 159. Chelan, as you saw, is a little bit worse. There's Chelan's WAQA value, or 184. It's a little worse off up there in Chelan. For one thing, it's not nearly as breezy. It's a little breezy outside of our studio. Chelan is not having a lot of wind right now. So Wenatchee is unhealthy. Chelan is unhealthy. But it looks like for the weekend, we're going to be all right. But it's going to get bad again probably early next week. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather forecast from the National Weather Service. You'll see that thunderstorm icon there. There's about a 40% chance of a thunderstorm before 11.
It's actually animated. I
So,
like
yeah,
that.
isn't that cool? So between now and 11-ish, Steve, is the best chance for either some thunderstorms or a little bit of light rain. And then we dispatch with the chance of a thunderstorms, and then the wind starts picking up. Our high today, 93. We'll probably get there. We hit 91 yesterday, but we're already at 72 under partly cloudy skies. The big thing we're looking at is the wind today. The wind will be west wind 10 to 14 miles an hour. And then it's going to pick up in intensity tonight, and this is when this red flag warning goes into effect. 3 o'clock this afternoon to 9 o'clock tonight, winds and low relative humidity. The window we're really keeping an eye on, Steve, for tonight, 5 to 11. 5 to 11 will be when the wind will be at its maximum, 16 to 21 miles an hour, gusts above 30 at times between 5 and 11 tonight.
It's going to test those containment lines.
It
on
will.
the
And then we
Cougar Creek
calm down on Saturday and Saturday night and Sunday. Now we're still going to see some haze and we're still going to see some smoke, and it's still going to be warm over the weekend, but it looks like we're not going to have really bad air quality. That's good news. Monday, things change again. As another high pressure ridge comes out, what's going to happen is the winds are going to be blowing right down from beautiful Canada, and it's going to bring the smoke from the fires from the British Columbia area into our area. Again, the Department of Ecology and the National Weather Service thinks we're going to go back to some pretty bad air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So, but the weekend, I think we might be all right.
Yeah,
So-
there's a lot to do this weekend outdoors, so that would be a real relief.
It would be a real
little
big
break here.
Yep. It is 8 minutes after the hour. We got a lot of news to get to on this Friday, most of it fire related, but other stuff as well. Steve Hare and the crew put together a nice little newscast for you, and it's 1 minute away. And the news in 1 minute will be brought to you by Cascade Medical. Trained with a physical therapist who loves the outdoors as much as you do. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
The physical therapists at Cascade Medical love the outdoors as much as you do. But sometimes where there's love, there's also pain. Let us help you get back to the activities that you love. Cascade Medical, partners in your health.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by LocalTel. Auditions for Holiday Spice are this Thursday at the Numerica Performing Arts Center at 6:30 p.m. Holiday Spice is a Wenatchee Festival of Trees community-based holiday variety show benefiting the PAC. Woodstock Anniversary Concert Fundraiser is this Saturday at Watson's Alpenhorn Cafe in Chelan. Enjoy live music, food, silent auction, and wine at this family-friendly event. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, we're waking up this morning to a change in the weather. Cold front passing over north central Washington this morning, packing gusty winds, lightning, even a little light rain, resulting in at least 2 new fire starts. The storm is tracking in a northeasterly direction with the lightning strikes reported in the Lake Chelan area and in Douglas County near Arundel. Rivercom Emergency Dispatch reported crews from multiple agencies were toned out this morning to lightning-sparked fires in the Little Chelan Butte Ranch Road area and in the Union Valley area near Idle Spurs Lane. Now, we received late word here from the Manson Volunteer Fire Department. They posted on their Facebook page that the Union Valley fire has been put out. Also, that Idle Spurs Road fire is now corralled, and they're in mop-up there. Also, another lightning strike set a tree on fire in the Arundel area off U.S. Highway 97 in Douglas County. That fire was reported to be about 1 acre in size behind the Cascade Foothills Orchards. They were also reporting some light rain in the area of that fire this morning, so that should help calm things down a little bit, but we expect to see a lot more of that type of activity as that storm tracks in a northeasterly direction, bringing more lightning and thunder to the Okanagan as well. So we'll track that and keep you updated as to any new fire starts there. Well, it's transition day on the Cougar Creek fire. As management switches over this morning from a Type 5 incident management team to a Type 3 team. The base camp is also moving from the Entiat High School to the Leavenworth Fish Hatchery, also setting up a staging area there at the Entiat Rotary Park. Over the past few days, crews have been taking advantage of the calmer weather to strengthen containment lines, and that's in advance of the cold front that entered the region last night. Fire Information Officer Shannon Prather reported yesterday that the eastern and southern flanks of that fire appear to be doing well.
Everything around from DP-29 up on by Taiyi Lookout all the way down around to DP-10 is looking really good. Fire continues to back down slowly towards some of the structures in Entiat Valley. A lot of this is filling in, and we have crews in place on there to provide any type of structure protection needs as necessary. But the line on the east side is all looking really good and holding. Mop-up continues on that, and we'll continue to strengthen those lines. And then coming back down around from DP-71, what has been burned the previous days is going to be held. We got forces in place to hold that, and that's our mission for today.
And again, that was Shannon Prather's final briefing as his Type 5 team is now leaving and heading back to California. The Cougar Creek fire now is 35% contained, 34,000 acres burned, but no homes have been lost or damaged. Evacuations have been lowered. It's now level 1 to nothing for Oklahoma Gulch Road, Navarre Coulee Road, Johnson Creek Road, and First Creek Road residents. Also, Entiat River Road from 97A to Crum Canyon now is in a level 1. Level 2 is down to level 1 in the Entiat River Road from Mad River Road down to Crum Canyon Road and both sides of Crum Canyon Road. And then from a level 3, it's down now to a level 2 on Mad River Road in Ardenvore. Also, Entiat River Road from Mad River Road to the end of the Entiat River Road, also now a level 2 advisory. Highway 2 in the Monitor Flat west of Wenatchee was briefly shut down Thursday morning while state troopers arrested a suspect in a stolen pickup truck. Trooper Jeff Anderson has the details of what happened there.
The initial report was a stolen Chevy pickup truck traveling westbound across the Old Station Bridge with the reporting party following behind in an SUV. I was right there at the office preparing to head out to the Grant County Fair for the day when I heard the call come out. So I jumped back in my patrol car and was able to locate the vehicle there in the left turn lane to go into Monitor. And myself and another trooper conducted a high-risk vehicle stop in the intersection, had the intersection shut down, took the driver and passenger into custody for being in possession of the stolen vehicle.
And again, the name of that suspect was not released. Also, this was the scene of a fiery traffic accident we first reported to you yesterday morning. We now have the details. It happened again Wednesday evening in the Leavenworth area. Washington State Patrol Trooper Jeff Anderson says the vehicle crash happened on U.S. Highway 2 at the west end of town.
actually left the paved shoulder, struck a rock that's kind of shaped a little bit like a ramp, which launched the vehicle into the air and flipped it. Vehicle came to rest on its top, and that's when it ignited.
Trooper Anderson said the driver received only minor injuries, luckily. He said the cause of the crash still under investigation. Well, the impacts of the Trump administration's trade tariffs on our state's apple industry was the topic at Thursday's Wenatchee Rotary Club luncheon. Todd Fryover, the president of the Washington State Apple Commission, talked about the apple harvest and about recent tariffs. Fryover says he's hopeful that the ongoing trade war ends soon.
So as most people know, we've got a lot of issues going on in the trade market right now. Apples are subject to 2 different tariffs and affect approximately 62% of our Red Delicious and 50% of all of our galas going internationally. I'm trying to be optimistic, and the optimistic side of me says that perhaps NAFTA will be concluded, and if NAFTA gets concluded, then maybe the 20% Mexico tariff will go away. Mexico's our #1 export market. They took 15 million bushels last season, so it's very impactful. The China discussion, I think, is a little bit more long-term, and it's going to take more time to right itself.
There could be some help on the way for the growers. In late July, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced a $12 billion plan to assist farmers who've been hurt by trade disputes with China and other foreign countries. Time now for our NCW Life's weekend calendar of events. And with all the information, here's our own NCW Life's Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. The final days of the Grant County Fair are today and tomorrow at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake. Head on over for some homegrown summer fun. For more information, go to gcfairgrounds.com. Escape the smoke and head indoors to the NCW Quilt and Fiber Art Festival happening today and tomorrow at the Town Toyota Center. There will be over 300 traditional and art quilts on display. View and visit the doll and beading displays, merchant mall, artisan market, live demonstrations, and a silent auction to benefit the Wenatchee Valley YWCA. Raffle Quilt summertime tickets are available for purchase at $1 each. Admission is $7 and parking is free. The Young Pianist Camp Faculty Concert is tonight at 7 p.m. at the Canyon Wren Recital Hall in Leavenworth. This recital will feature faculty artists of the Young Pianist program, as well as a world premiere of a new work written by one of the young pianists. Tickets are available at the door or at icicle.org. And finally, the Lake Chelan Creative Arts Festival is this Saturday and Sunday at Riverwalk Park from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This 8th annual festival showcases original art from juried artists, a silent auction, activities for kids, and more. For more information on this weekend's events, visit the calendar at ncwlife.com.
Quilt show looks like fun, huh?
Yeah, I'm actually going to get out and get some golfing in.
Good for
this
you.
weekend. I didn't get a chance last weekend. I was planning on golfing last Sunday, and the weather got bad. I mean, the air got bad. Saturday would have been a perfect day to go out golf, and I just didn't do it. I took care of stuff around the house, and then my Sunday tee time was like, I don't want to go out and play in this gunk. But it looks like right now we'll be okay for the weekend.
Yeah, Grant Olson's got tickets to the Mariner game this weekend.
Does he?
I wouldn't mind doing that.
Who's he taking?
I don't know.
Maybe
Probably
I can hide in the
Michelle.
trunk of the car. Big weekend series with the Mariners and the Dodgers. The Wenatchee Valley Rams go for another championship over the weekend as well. We got sports coming up, also the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everyone is entitled to my opinion. And my conversation with Diana Haglund and Chris Ludkin for the Wenatchee School District, talking about free lunches and all that good stuff as we're getting ready to go back to school. Before you start your weekend, do yourself a favor, get caught up with everything that happened on this Friday with the news. Grant Olson in the anchor chair also handles the weather and handles it very well. Eric Granstrom will be doing sports, and you can check out our newscast at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on this very television station, available on demand on our website, also available on demand on our Facebook page. If something out there catches your attention and says, hey, let's get the word out on this event or this incident, whatever the case may be, get a hold of us. Steve Hare with the honors.
That's right. You can contact us by social media on our Facebook and Twitter pages. We're always posting stories there and links to the stories on our website at ncwlife.com. Contact us on the website. Just click the little tab at the top of the page. It says Contact Us, and leave us a note there. You can also write to us via email. Our address is news@ncwlife.com. As always, our breaking news hotline available to you to let us know what's going on out there. It's 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL, the NCW Life Breaking News Hotline.
Mostly cloudy, 72 degrees. We could see a light thunderstorm or raindrop between now and 11 this morning. Then that chance goes away. Winds will be picking up this afternoon. Be quite windy between 5 and 11 tonight. And a red flag warning will begin at 3 o'clock this afternoon and is set to expire at 11 o'clock tonight. Just a heads up on that. 21 minutes after the hour. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Live this morning from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
22 minutes after the hour on this Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, I'm Dan Kuhn. Sports, the Wenatchee Valley Rams will go in their 9th championship in 10 years tomorrow. They'll take on their rivals, the Tri-City Rage. The Rams undefeated on the season in the Western Washington Football Alliance. The closest game that they had all year, as a matter of fact, was against the Rage back in July. The Rams won in a last-second touchdown. The final there was 42-36. Kickoff for the championship, 5 o'clock, Renton Memorial Stadium tomorrow. Go Rams. Lots going on this weekend. Let's take a quick look at what's happening. The 43rd Annual Terry's Lads and Lasses Co-ed Softball Tournament. I can't do Irish. It's going to be at Walla Walla Point Park on Saturday and Sunday. Now, if you want to help build and maintain mountain bike trails up number 2 Canyon Saturday, you're invited to the Blood, Sweat, and Beers event. Arlberg Sports, Wenatchee Valley Velo, Ridge Cycle Sport, and Wenatchee Valley Brewing have teamed up with Central Washington Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance to do the trail work. It's tomorrow from 1 to 5. Then everybody's going to ride their bikes down to the Wenatchee Valley Brewing for a little after party at 7. And weather and smoke permitting, it's the annual Doggy Paddle Swim at the Wenatchee City Pool Saturday beginning at 5 o'clock. The cost is just $5 if you're a Wenatchee resident or $5.50 for a non-resident, and that's per dog. Dog handlers, you got to be at least 16 years old. You must have proof of a current rabies vaccination. That's for the dog, not the handler. And again, it's the annual Dog Paddle Swim at the Wenatchee City Pools. They shut down for the year. Saturday, 5 to 7 o'clock, and go to the Wenatchee Parks and Recreation website for more details. It's a lot of fun, it really is. Congratulations to the Corvallis Knights. For the first time in league history, they are the back-to-back champions of the West Coast League. They defeated the Kelowna Falcons 5-1 last night. Corvallis takes the best of 3 series, 2-0. The West Coast League season for 2018 is in the books. Mariners begin a 3-game weekend series against the Dodgers at Safeco Field tonight. Seattle comes into the contest. It's a 3-team battle, of course, for the American League wildcard spot between themselves, the Athletics, and the Yankees. The Mariners are currently 3rd in the AL West. They are 4.5 games behind first place Houston. Seattle goes with Wade LeBlanc, 7-2 on the air. Walker Buehler, who is 5-4, will pitch for the Dodgers. First pitch, 7:10. Only one game involving the American League West last night, and that was Texas. They used a 4-run 8th to erase a 6-4 deficit. They beat the Angels 8-6 last night. This weekend, Seattle fans will have a very close eye because it is Oakland and Houston doing battle. They will play each other in the first of 3 games tonight in the Bay Area. And finally, let's talk football. Let me tell you about the football. Seahawks looking for their first win of the preseason. They travel to Los Angeles tomorrow. The starters will play a little longer. Tomorrow night, Seahawks take on the Chargers in Carson, California. Kickoff on your local Fox affiliate, Q13 in Seattle, or KAYU Fox 28 in Spokane, will be at 7 o'clock. Do what I do. Watch the game on TV, but listen to the play-by-play on the radio with Steve Rabel and Dave Wyman, and producing our very own Eric Granstrom. Have fun in California, Eric, 25 minutes after the hour. August 17th, the obscure holiday is Thrift Shop Day. If you like a good bargain on an old or vintage item that doesn't necessarily have to be clothes, go to your local thrift shop. We've got some pretty good ones here in town. Most people associate thrift shops with clothes, but most good thrift shops have all kinds of used or old items or discounted prices. It's amazing some of the deals that you can get. And sometimes you find a real steal. If you know what you're doing, if you're like, you collect this certain kind of thing, you can go to a thrift store and pick up something that's worth a lot of money for almost nothing. So, and it's also a good day to maybe go through your house and get rid of some old dusty stuff that you're never ever going to use again and bring it down to the thrift shop and say, here you go, somebody could use this. Goodwill, Salvation Army, because I'm not going to use it anymore. Happy Thrift Shop Day today, 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history. What is the #1 tourist destination in Seattle? Is it the Space Needle? Nope, it's Pike Place Market. And 111 years ago, Pike Place Market opened its doors, so to speak, in historic downtown Seattle. 10 million people, over 10 million people every year visit the Pike Place Market, which is 111 years old today. Now, this next photo may be a little disturbing to some people. This is the 103rd anniversary of the lynching of Leo Frank, Jewish-American Leo Frank, lynched in Marietta, Georgia. He was convicted in the murder of a 13-year-old by the name of Mary Fagan. He was sentenced to death, Leo Frank was. His sentence was commuted to life in prison by the governor of Georgia. And 2 years into his prison sentence, 28 men broke into the prison. They dragged Leo Frank away. They drove to Marietta, Georgia, and they lynched him. None of the 28 were ever charged with a crime, and in 1986 it was found that Leo Frank was innocent. He was wrongly convicted and was pardoned posthumously. The tragedy of Leo Frank happened on this date 103 years ago today. 85 years ago today, Lou Gehrig plays in his 1,309th consecutive game, breaking the record held by Everett Scott. Lou Gehrig would go on to break his own record 821 more times. The Iron Man became the Iron Man on this date 85 years ago today in St. Louis, and yet the Yankees lost to the Browns. This is the 49th anniversary of Hurricane Camille. Hurricane Camille, the second most intense hurricane in this country's history. Hurricane Camille slams into the Mississippi, Alabama Gulf Coast. 256 people died. $1.5 billion in damage. Hurricane Camille hit landfall August 17th, 1969, and August 17th, 1977. Look at that. 41 years ago today. The most flowers ever sold on a single day ever. They were delivered to Graceland and Forest Hill Cemetery in Memphis, of course, the day after the death of Elvis Presley. 3,116 floral arrangements by mid-afternoon on August 17th. Every florist in Memphis had run out of flowers. It happened on this date 41 years ago today. And finally, we got birthdays for you. Born in 1786, there he is, born on a mountaintop in Tennessee. Greatest state in the land of the free. Lived in the woods, so he knew every tree. Killed Tim a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, the American soldier, politician, frontiersman, folk hero, born August 17th, 1786. Unfortunately, decided to drop by the Alamo back in 1836 to see what was going on. That was a mistake. The legendary Davy Crockett was born in this state in 1786. Speaking of legends, maybe my favorite actor, Robert De Niro. The guy's good. He's 75 years old today. Acts every once in a while, directs. He's an entrepreneur, a producer as well. The Godfather Part 2, Raging Bull, which he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, Bang the Drum Slowly, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, The Deer Hunter, Goodfellas, King of Comedy, Heat, Casino. Robert De Niro, 75 years old today. And speaking of an actor who's got a lot of trophies on his mantle, Sean Penn is 58 years old today. Of course, he first became famous with Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and then he did better with Carlito's Way and Dead Man Walking and Mystic River and Milk. Sean Penn, one of America's finest leading actors working today, is 58 years old today. It is 30 minutes after the hour. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNalty's opinion. Religion and politics is the topic today. We'll enjoy that. And then my conversation, it was taped yesterday morning, Diana Haglund and Chris Lutkin from the Wenatchee School District. Diana is the brand new communications director for the Wenatchee School District. Chris Lutkin has been he's in charge of the food. He's the one who feeds your kids. For you Wenatchee parents out there, it's a great conversation. We'll talk about that with those two fine people when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hey everyone, so today I'm tackling Medical Assistant Ninja, trying to get that next level career. Man, this dead-end job is holding me back. Decision time, I'm going charter college. Now I'm a medical assistant student. Rocking it! Yeah, earned the President's Award. Score! Took my career to the next level. Hey, I can level up to Medical Assistant Ninja, so can you. Get on it.
Tacos Chava has something new. Customers at Tacos Chava say it's the best Mexican food around. Nachos, enchiladas, tortas, ensaladas. And introducing camarones in many styles. You'll love the fresh salsa bar with so much selection. Are you ready for Tacos Chava? Find them at 2 great locations, the Wenatchee Valley Mall and Eniat. Tacos Chava, tan delicioso.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
For plumbing, heating, or cooling repair, Patriot will be right there.
Is your inefficient home comfort system wasting money? This Lennox dealer can help.
Save money on your energy bills with an efficient Lennox system from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Call Patriot today.
Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling will give your home a hug.
Get up to $1,500 in rebates or special financing.
Hey, this is Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, 75% of us Americans consider ourselves Christians. Well, that's great. But our tendency as Americans, particularly those on the political right, we tend to mix our Christianity with our patriotism. And that's a big mistake. I mean, love of country is fine, but if my patriotism causes me to somehow justify something other than love your neighbor as yourself as somehow concurrent with my faith, I've crossed the line. And that's true, particularly in this day and age. Because, of course, when Jesus identified your neighbor, he was telling you to consider it was who you deem most objectionable. God is not going to protect or bless America at the expense of any other nation. And there's absolutely no reason to believe that America has a special place in God's heart over and above anyone else. I mean, I love being American too. I don't. But doing so doesn't trump my faith. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Lakeshland Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Schland Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat, poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
In less than 2 weeks, specifically August 29th, is the first day of school for the upcoming school year for the Wenatchee School District, for the Eastmont School District for that matter. Most school districts get going on the 29th day of August. And to get you in the mood to get back to school, we got some exciting news to pass along to you. And my guest today on my far, far left is the brand new communications director for the Wenatchee School District, but you know her because she's been involved in other things as well, Diana Haglund to my far left, and the Director of Nutritional Services for the Wenatchee School District, Chris, I don't want to screw your last name. Lutkin, who's also been on this program before. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
It's good to have you here. We have a lot to touch on, but first of all, probably the most timely thing we need to discuss with Diana is air quality and Wenatchee School District activities officially getting underway on Monday the 20th for most of the schools that are school-sponsored outdoor activities, and you're keeping a very close eye on the gunky air we've been dealing with.
Absolutely. You know, we're all dealing with the gunky air right now, but so many of our sports practice outside, and even band is practicing outside, getting ready for the football season. And so we want to make sure that we're keeping an eye on the health quality of the air. And so if it's in a range where it's unhealthy, we're going to be looking at ways that we can accommodate those students to host them inside and make sure that those practices are continuing to happen. But you know, every day is a little bit different when it comes to the air quality, and we're keeping our fingers crossed we get some wind and some precipitation in here, and maybe we don't have to deal with that, but it certainly is something that we're faced with right now and want to keep our kids safe.
Basically anything that requires any kind of cardiovascular activity right now is they don't want to curtail the activities, you just have to move them indoors, I
Right,
guess.
yeah, it's just really kind of shuffling things around a little bit. So we don't want to stop those, but we want to make sure that students are breathing healthy air, and oftentimes that means moving those things indoors.
If there's any good news, although there's less than 2 weeks to go before the school year begins, it isn't like it was in September of 2012 when the school year was underway and we had the whole month of unbreathable air, and they had to do recess was inside, everything was inside.
Right, and you know, we don't know what's going to happen. If we had a crystal ball, wouldn't it be great to know that this is all going to clear up and we wouldn't have that problem? But we are prepared in the event that this does continue on throughout the school year to make those accommodations for recess and PE and those types of activities that do happen in school once we're in session.
At the end of June, Diana's predecessor, Terry Fink, who I loved, retired after many, many wonderful years of service at the Wenatchee School District, and you got the gig as communications director. Are you settled in? You happy? You got her down? And
I'm still trying to fill these big shoes. Yeah.
Do you call Terry and say, "Where's the stapler? I can't find the stapler." How does that work?
It was great. I had lunch with Terry the other day. It's so wonderful to see her enjoying retirement. But yeah, you know, we spent about 2 or 3 months really working in tandem, getting me transitioned into this new role. So that's been really helpful. I've been part of our district communications team for over the last 2 years. So that's really enabled me to kind of hit the ground running and get things going. So I'm pretty excited to be sort of the voice of the district and sharing out our stories and all the incredible things that go on in our buildings because there's a lot that happens. There's always something going on.
And you're still wearing 2 hats because you still have your other gig and you're still doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm still overseeing our Wenatchee Learns Connect Partnership Center and making sure that we're engaging the community in that regard. So I'm taking on those 2 big roles, but they mesh together really well.
And it should be pointed out that one of the very first press releases she ever got to send out is really, really good news. This This is so cool. In a nutshell, talk about the news release about the free meals.
Yeah.
Deal. This is incredibly good stuff.
Well, like I said, I'm really lucky because I get to share all the great news and things that are happening in our district, and there's so much going on. And we were getting back to school and doing our administrative advance, and Chris is sitting next to me, and he says, "Hey, let me tell you about our free lunch program." So I had an opportunity to sit down with Chris, and absolutely blown away. We are now going to be able to provide free lunches for all of our kids at 7 of our schools in the district. This is huge. So it's a pretty great story to write when we can say, hey folks, hey parents, kids, and teachers as well, lunch and breakfast are free for all the kids in your school.
And free and reduced lunches and breakfasts has been a federally funded program and other funded for many, many years. This is an entirely new level. There are 7 schools, Chris, that the parents can send their kid off to school and not have to worry about feeding them.
That's right. We worked really hard over this last spring to make sure that we could qualify for the meals. We've been looking at it. It started in 2014, and it just has been gaining steam and getting to understand it. We got to qualify 7 schools. I work closely with the OSPI to try and mesh schools together, get as many schools as we can right off the bat, and the goal is within the next 2 years to get the entire district qualified.
How much work did it take to get this? I mean, my guess is this was a mound of paperwork.
There's a pile of paperwork. There was a lot of numbers.
A binder about that thick.
Yeah, it was a lot of data being pushed back and forth and making sure. I mean, we had to have a backup for every single student that we qualify in that school. Had to have a backup document for that, and we just worked really hard. And OSPI was a great supporter to help us make sure that we met the goal of feeding as many kids as we could.
And what happened around your office when you got the word, hey, we're going to go ahead and cut the check for 7 schools? That must have made you feel good.
We actually, when I got the email, I jumped up and ran over to my office manager and high-fived her because she really worked hard in tandem with myself to make sure that we could do that. So it really was an out-loud celebration that we get to remove barriers so all kids get to eat no matter what the background is.
The schools that qualified, and I have the list right here, the elementary schools are Columbia, Lewis and Clark, Abraham, Lincoln, and Mission View. 2 middle schools, Orchard and Pioneer, and West Side High School. The benefits of the CEP program, the first thing that I thought of when I saw this press release, stigma. Kids know that they have classmates who are on either free lunch and breakfast or assisted lunch and breakfast, and who's kidding who. Kids are kids. They can be cruel and mean sometimes. No stigma. Everybody gets to eat.
That's right. It's just you come in and we get the pleasure to feed breakfast and lunch to all those students so they can be in the classroom, be prepared, nourished, and do some awesome things. We have a pretty big population of reduced students, and that those costs for breakfast and lunch are 30 and 40 cents, but they're so close to the cutoff to being free that a lot of them were choosing not to participate because even that amount was still a lot for that family. So I'm really excited to be able to bring that group in as well, and so we're meeting the needs of everybody.
And another benefit is the kids don't have to wait in line to pay their money to get their lunch, then get in another line to get their lunch. It also frees up time, does it not?
I think it's going to expedite that process of kids getting lunch. It's also going to save us on some administrative costs and time in terms of processing paperwork. There's a lot of that Chris's office does and the lunch ladies at the buildings manage. And so this will really help us be a little more efficient. So I'm excited about that and the efficiencies that it's going to bring to our district. And kids are going to have more time to just eat lunch.
And the studies prove that kids with empty stomachs, their learning curve, they don't learn as quickly or as better, do they? I mean, talk about the correlation between a nutritious meal and feeding your brain with the information that it needs.
Well, if you don't start your day off with that nutritious meal and you're ready, prepared to go in the classroom, if you're hungry or thinking about food, you're really not able to concentrate on the education with the awesome things the teachers are doing in the classroom. So it really prepares them, and they actually, there's a House bill that just came out, that breakfast after the bell. So if there's certain schools over 70%, there's a second chance breakfast because the data shows there's such a correlation with nourishment and being able to retain and be educated. So that's in the future. So we're just taking that first step towards that. So.
As the Director of Nutritional Services for the entire school district, does this new program change your day-to-day job at all, or does this make things easier for you?
Well, it's awesome because we're going to be able to feed a lot more kids. So we have great participation. We have an incredible menu and food that we offer. The ladies out there do a wonderful job cooking meals, but it's just I had to order 1,200 more lunch trays. So I'm excited to be able to put food on those. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to streamline to where we're not in the processing part of pushing paperwork, but feeding kids, and that's what we're here for.
What have you heard from parents who now understand that, hey, they don't have to pack a lunch for Johnny Jump Up or make sure he's got enough money in his account? What's the initial feedback from the parents?
Yeah, well, when we first posted this story out on our social media platforms, people, like Chris said, out loud, are excited. What a blessing this is. Very, very grateful that this service is being provided to youth here in our community, so that they're nourished and they're ready to learn. And I want to point out too that the food quality in the Wenatchee School District is pretty amazing, and there will be no reduction in quality when it comes to participation in this program. We have a great farm to school program where students are exposed to healthy fruits and vegetables, some things that they may not have otherwise tasted or have exposure to at home. So there's a lot of benefits that come with this program, in addition to just keeping kids healthy.
How much work does it take for you to prepare menus? I mean, you're the one who's in charge of what school eats what day.
I'm planning a year ahead. So when I'm writing menus, it's a year ahead that I'm planning them, and then as we get in, we go backwards into quarterly, and there's some work into it because I really am trying to incorporate as much farm to school as we can. So it's making sure that we're talking and communicating with the farmers so we can get those products in and we can have them on the plate so the kids can eat them. We also are enhancing our program. We're going to be getting local beef, local pork, so we're really going from just produce to everything on the plate. So,
does this program affect any kid? Well, I'm sure it does. There's kids out there who have food allergies. Oh, this is fantastic. I have a kid who's going to be at 4th grade at Lincoln Elementary School. He can't eat peanuts, or he's allergic to this. How does that work in the big picture?
I work closely with the nurses and the parents, so anytime we prepare meals for every individual student, so if there's a need there, we make sure we accommodate for them. We sit down and have a meeting, we go over a menu, write a menu, and make sure that we have the meals that they can eat, because I want everybody to be included.
I already read the list of the schools, Columbia, Lewis and Clark, Lincoln, and Mission View as far as elementary schools are concerned. Obviously, Washington, Newberry, Sunny Slope, not part of this program. How did the decision of what schools get this and what schools don't? Is that out of your hands, or how did that work?
It's really a formula. It's a number of, there's free and reduced applications, and then there's direct certification of families that receive services through the state. And what it is a percentage, you have to be a 40% or higher of identified population that receives services. And so unfortunately those schools right now don't meet that threshold to be able to incorporate that, but we're hoping in the future we'll be able to combine some things and be able to get everybody in the district on.
This may sound like a cattywampus question. Who's actually paying for this? I mean, this is a bunch of 3,300 students are going to get free, nutritious meals.
This is a federally funded program.
Okay.
Yep.
Is this one of those deals where one of these days the feds can just pull the plug in the bathtub and it drains and you're right back
No,
to
this
where
is
you were?
they're looking for universal feeding going forward, and that's kind of where legislation is working towards getting that, and this was just the first step. So we qualified, this program we qualify, it's a 4-year cycle, and so on the 4th year we put the data in and see where we sit. So I'm just hoping we can continue to process and feed kids.
Give me a typical lunch menu at any elementary school that you and your staff, Chris, put together. I'm in 5th grade and I'm sitting down with my tray. What's on my tray?
Today it's a baked chicken leg from fresh mashed potatoes, gravy. We'll do some fresh roasted vegetables, and a roll made from our in-house bake shop, whole grain, wonderful warm roll that they get.
That's a lot better than what I ate back in my day at Washington Elementary School. You must be very proud of the work you do.
I'm very passionate. I feel like my calling was to feed kids, feed the future, and I'm just very blessed that I get to be part of this district and this community and take care of the children.
What's it going to take to get every school in the school district on this program? What's the next step? Paperwork and
I think
funding?
it's probably tracking some of the data. You said in 2 years we'd be looking at that, so I'm sure it's kind of keeping tabs on what our data looks like, pulling all of that together, and then getting that process resubmitted.
Can I pop up one of these days and get my little office badge and sit down and have one of your lunches just to see what the kids are eating?
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure to have you have meals. And I invite all the parents to come and see the wonderful things and the meals that we're serving. Anytime, just please give me a call or just pop in and sit down with your kids and have a nice meal.
Yeah, and they're delicious. So if it were a restaurant, it would be 5-star. I'm telling you, it's pretty good.
One last question for you, Chris. The food pyramid that I grew up with, outdated, modified, about the same? Grains, dairy, meats, veggies, fruits? Has that been, as they look at how kids develop over the last 40 years, they've made some adjustments?
It's changed quite a bit. There's still the same components, but the amounts and servings have changed, so they're focusing more on the whole grains, the fruits and the vegetables, and less of just having that meat and potato on the plate. It's about a balanced, nutritious meal.
Do you have any idea the percentage, the ratio of kids who bring a sack lunch, a cold lunch to school as those who eat a hot prepared lunch? Is it?
Yeah, we, participation-wise as a district as a whole, we're probably at about 75% participation. So we have a great participation, and I've been here, I've had the pleasure of being here almost 2 years now, and we're up about 600 meals a day from when I started, so.
Well, and with this program too, you know, that's likely to change.
Yes.
I know Chris and his staff are going to be out in our buildings on our welcome back days, our ice cream socials. School buildings start to open up and welcome kids back and get them ready for the school year. They'll be sharing information about this new program because I'm sure not everyone's heard about it yet, but they're definitely going to hear about it.
Yes. And the food is good. That's maybe the best part of all.
That's right.
Hey, it's free lunch. Oh, it's slop.
Yeah.
And we've got you know, great catering. I know that's going to be changing as well, and Chris is looking at enhancing that. But catering services in the district provide wonderful meals for all of our different trainings and events that go on across the district, and so he's really looking to enhance that program as well.
You're ready to go get them for another school year?
Absolutely. Let's feed some kids.
Let's do it. Same for you, Diana. You ready?
Absolutely. There are so many incredible staff that are geared up and pumped for kids to come back on the 29th.
This is so cool. And any questions at all, if you're a parent out there and you're curious about the CEP program that we've been talking about today, what do they do, Diana, if they have any questions about how this program works?
Absolutely. They can get in touch with our Nutrition Services Department. They are the experts on all things nutrition. Talk to this guy. And specifically, if you have questions about any of the things on our menu, the meals and the ingredients that we use, Chris really is going to be your resident expert.
The guy is beans. He does a great job.
He is.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, and let's have a good school year.
Thanks
a
for
good,
having us.
safe,
Thank you for having
awesome
us.
school year.
All right.
And we'll see you at lunch.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm coming.
All right.
You better believe it. You're watching Wake Up with Angie Valley on the NCW Live channel. Look anywhere. We'll be right back.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job.
I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill. Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you.
Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to check out the NCW Movie Guide to keep up on what movies are playing in our town.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Life channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.
The NCW Life channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's Learn, Guada TV, Street Talk and Other Stuff, the 12th District, Life with Lisa, and the Arbiter of Stoke. NCW Life channel is your local TV station.
And welcome back. We're back here live here from Studio 4 in downtown Wenatchee. Dan Kuntz alongside Steve Hare getting ready to get our weekend going. Don't forget, wherever you go this weekend, if you need television and entertainment with a local TWISP? Yeah, we broadcast in TWISP with a local twist. We invite you to watch us this weekend or take us along and watch us on your smartphone when you're out and about. And it looks like we're going to have decent air quality to go out and about. We're going to get the latest air quality readings from the Department of Ecology your way in just a couple minutes. But Steve Harris rejoined me. You wanted to get the latest on what was a pretty active night last night, wasn't it?
And a blustery overnight. In fact, here's a map of where the lightning strikes hit here, courtesy of Central Washington Interagency Communications Center at Pangbourne Airport. They provided us with this map, lightning map, and we had over 50 strikes in Washington State. Our area, as you can see there in north central Washington, we had a number of strikes. The green signifies cluster of strikes, with the single strike being the red X's there. But again, we've had fires, at least three fires that were started here in Chelan and Douglas County overnight. One up on the Rondo area. Single tree got struck apparently and set on fire up there along Highway 97 near milepost 231. We're told now by SWIC that fire is fully lined now and they've got it circled, so that's pretty much taken care of. Other two fires up in the Chelan area, one in the Union Valley area. That one is also in mop-up, which is good news. That was off of Idle Spurs Road in the Union Valley area. And then there's a third fire that also set off by lightning up in the Little Chelan Butte Ranch Road area. And that was posing some access problems for firefighters, as I understand, but it was still small and not moving very fast. But again, that fire also got a little rain on it overnight.
Oh, okay.
So that's good news. So a little bit of moisture accompanying the thunderstorms is always kind of a welcome sight.
The Cougar Creek fire started 3 weeks ago today.
Yeah.
If you remember that correctly, and today is a transition day for the firefighters, right? There, one crew's coming out, new crew coming in.
Yeah, Type 5 team, the California team, is now heading out, and they'll be replaced by a Type 3 team, a Pacific Northwest team, and they're taking over management of the fire. They've also moved the base camp from the Antioch High School because their school's starting up real soon.
Yeah, they got to use the gym.
And so they're moving them out to the National Fish Hatchery on East Leavenworth Road. Okay. And then they're also putting in another staging area at the Rotary Park in Antioch, so we'll still have a presence there too.
Last time we gave you an air quality reading was just about an hour ago, and we do have the latest from the Washington State Department of Ecology. The Wenatchee air quality continues to improve. About an hour ago, Steve, it was at 159. Now, it's still unhealthy. It's down to 153, and if it gets below 150, it will go from unhealthy to unhealthy for sensitive groups. So that's good news there as the high winds is scouring out the skies a little bit. Now, Chelan, on the other hand, is actually getting worse. Chelan was at 184 an hour ago. Now it's up to 194, just on that very edge between unhealthy and very unhealthy. But it looks like we're going to get through this weekend without the weather, without the air quality getting up to the hazardous level. Looks like we're going to be okay, but it may get back bad again by Monday and Tuesday next week.
Is there a little patch of blue up there? No.
It is a patch of blue.
A little bit. It's nice to get a little variation on the gray.
It is. Let's take a quick look at your weather forecast. A couple of critical things we want to mention. There's a red flag warning that has been issued. It starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon to 9 o'clock this evening. Red flag warnings, of course, mean warm temperatures, low relative humidity, and winds. And the one thing we're keeping a very close eye on is the wind, Steve. Today, 10 to 14 miles an hour west wind. Tonight, west wind 16 to 21 miles an hour. And the timetable on this, Steve, the most critical part of all, when they think the wind will be at its highest, 5 o'clock this afternoon until 11 o'clock tonight. 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock will be when the wind is at its peak with gusts as high as 30 miles an hour, and then it decreases to less than 10 miles an hour once we get to Saturday and Sunday. Now, we're still going to have some haze, and we're still going to have some smoke this weekend, just not as bad as it was this week. And then the next thing we're keeping a close eye on as this cold front exits the area is another high-pressure ridge is going to start building up on Sunday into Monday, and as the high-pressure ridge builds up and the associated winds in the upper level start spinning clockwise, it's going to grab that smoke up in the British Columbia area, and they think it's going to go right down to pay us a visit. So we could go right back to some pretty bad air Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. It's in the possibility.
But again, folks, stay with us here at NCW Live on our Facebook page and on our website. We'll keep you up to date throughout the weekend on new fire starts and continuing coverage of the existing fires. But stay with us, and if anything breaks, we'll break into our regular programming.
Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.